Today we're working on a 2015 Mustang. This is going to be the S550 body style, 2015 through 2020. Now what we've got going on with this car is there's a really bad wind noise. And as you're going to see, the window is just a little out of alignment. So we're going to pull that door panel and see if we can get it taken care of. So this is actually the driver's window that we're having the issues with. And as you can see how far forward that is, should be a lot smaller gap there. A few things we need to do to get this door panel off. There's going to be a 10mm right behind the door handle. We'll actually open this up and pry that little plate out of the way. We're going to have to take our window switch out. There are two 7mm bolts right down here on the bottom, and then we will pull the entire door panel off. There's some clips holding it on, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is remove the switch panel here, but first we need to roll this window down a little bit. I'm going to roll it down to about there, just so there's still a little bit of the glass showing. And then this switch panel actually lifts up, but I want to pop the back out first. The next thing I want to do is pop the plate off from behind the door handle. I'm just going to use a little pick to get in there and pop that thing loose. Now we can actually see that 10mm bolt. Now that we've got our cover off, our switch panel off, there's a 10mm bolt here, one right here, and then once again there's the two 7mm bolts underneath the door. We'll go ahead and remove all four of these. Now that all four bolts are removed, we're just going to start prying out on the door panel itself all the way around to pop the clips out. Once all the clips are popped out, you lift it up and that door panel can be pulled off the door. Now once you get the door panel down, there's actually an electrical connector here as well as here that we need to disconnect. And then if we want to remove the door panel completely, we have to remove the cable that connects the door handle itself. Now we have the door panel removed. Once again, we had to take the cable off, and then there's this connector. And this connector actually pushes through, and these two little ears, those are what snap in. So you have to pinch those ears and pull this back out of the door panel. These are just plug and play connectors. So now we need to get into the door itself to be able to access the bottom of the window. So we're just going to need to pull this plastic covering down out of the way, all the way around. Now that the plastic is out of the way, there's going to be an adjustment on the back and the front. So this is what we're looking at. I can loosen this. I don't want to remove it all the way. I can loosen it, and that's going to allow me to grab a hold of the glass up here and kind of adjust it. And then same thing in the front, that 10mm right there. So now we're going to do these one at a time. I'm going to start on the back. I need to move this whole window back a little bit, so we'll see if we can get it done. So I actually loosened both of them, slid the whole window back a little bit. Now we're gonna go ahead and plug our switch back in, roll this thing up and down, make sure it goes up and down smooth, and make sure it's moved back far enough to get rid of that wind noise. I'm just going to tuck that away, put this up out of the way so we can close the door. So before, that window was setting way over here, and you can see the line where it's supposed to set. So we'll close this door and see if we got close. And it looks like we're right on where we need to be. We moved that whole window back a little bit. You can actually see the line right there where it was setting. It was setting about a 1/4 inch forward. That should take care of that wind noise. Now we just got to walk through putting everything back together just like we took it apart. We'll be good to go. One thing to keep in mind when you're putting this back together, of course, make sure you get your cable back in, make sure both your electrical connectors are plugged in, but then also make sure this is fed through the door panel. A lot of times it'll fall down and get stuck behind it, and you'll have to take the whole thing back apart again.